What's going on, BWI? It's Reggie, the CoolB'more driver. It is now 4 o'clock in the morning on 3 February. I am recapping my night on the 2nd of February. So I started off about 4 o'clock, and I tell you, when I say I was all over the place today, I literally was all over the place today. So I started off in Pikesville, ended up down at BWI Airport. Got a nice long ride from BWI to Rockville. It was about a $40 ride. I came back, picked up another ride from BWI that took me into Ellicott City. And from Ellicott City, I just rolled right on into Baltimore City because the clubs were closing. Got some pretty good short rides there with the surges. But then I ended up, what I thought was going to be my last ride of the night ended up being a ride from Baltimore City to Edgewood, which at 1.5, that was like a $30 or $40 ride itself. Plus the gentleman gave me a $6 cash tip, so that was nice. And then right as I dropped him off, I got another ping. It was actually a long trip request, and the gentleman was going about 10 miles from work to home, closing off his shift. So I ended off tonight with 172 and some change. So over my goal, but of course using the Uber fuel card. I think that was $30. I'm sorry, about $36 in fuel cost that was deducted. So still it was a good night. It was even over my minimum goal of 135. So I was still good. I was still somewhere around 145 at the end of the night. So I'll take that. It was an 8-hour online shift. I still had 6 hours of drive time I could have used, but it's 4 in the morning. I'm tired. It's time to go in and get some rest, recharge, and there's always today, later on today, to get up and do it again. So I'm already fueled up, ready to go. So I'm good. Hopefully everybody had a fruitful day today. Actually, the BWI airport queue, when I got there around 9:30, wow, it was moving pretty quick. So not bad. So let's talk about the way the drive time counter works. So when you're offline or when you're online, there's the counter that actually counts down how much drive time you have left. Now, the way that this works is if you are online and you're moving, it deducts your time, whether you have a passenger or not. If you are moving, it is considered that you're obviously driving and you're not resting. So it deducts that time. If you are sitting, let's say, for instance, you're sitting at BWI airport, right? You sit there for 2 hours waiting for a ride. That 2 hours does not count, okay? That the full 2 hours doesn't count, should I say. Only the first minute counts. After the first minute, the other hour and 59 seconds doesn't count towards your drive time. So you'll have all that time left. So, and then when you're offline, you'll see 2 counters, all right? So you'll see a remaining balance of how much time you have left, and then you'll have the 6-hour countdown timer. So the 6-hour countdown timer doesn't really work the way that Uber explained it, or at least the way that I understood it to be. I was under the impression that if you always will have 6 hours to rest, period, hands down. But the way that it works is if you take a break, it deducts that time from you taking a break. So let's say you take a half-hour break, all right, and you're at 6 hours. All right, you take that half-hour break, boom, it drops it down to 5 hours and 30 minutes. But as you start driving, as in moving with a customer or not with a customer, then it adds that time back up. So I ended up, I think, with 5.5 hours to take a break or to actually rest continuously. And that's fine. So there was a question in one of the Facebook forums of, do you think that this new 12-hour limit will affect your income? And I answered, and my answer was, no, actually, I thought it would increase it simply because let's say there's 50 drivers in your area, right? And let's just say all these drivers are driving roughly around the same, let's say 25 of them are driving roughly around the same time, right? And then they all have to take their, let's say, 5 to 6 hour break, okay? So the other 25 drivers come out. They're driving roughly around the same times. And so I figured that there would be a little bit more of a demand for drivers simply because all 50 aren't out at the same time. But I have to take that back because, I didn't take in consideration that a lot of us who drive for Uber also drive for Lyft. So even with the 12-hour stipulation from Uber, if a person feels that they can go forward and continue driving, and they hit that 12-hour limit, which really that 12-hour limit could turn into 18 hours, really, if you stretched it out, if you knew how to take your breaks and stretch it out, right? You could turn that into an almost a 24-hour day. But let's just say, they hit straight 12 hours, right? And then they have to take their 6-hour break. Okay, so all they got to do now is go from Uber to Lyft, or, from Uber to Lyft. And now they're on another schedule, another 12-hour or 14-hour limit, whatever the limit is for Lyft in the Baltimore area. So I'm not saying that I would do that. I wouldn't do that. One, because you're not only putting yourself at risk, but you're putting other drivers out there. And I'm not necessarily talking about Uber and Lyft drivers, just, people driving themselves. And then you're putting a customer at risk if you're doing that. And I know some people will say that they drink caffeine, they load up on Monster and 5-hour energies. I'm telling you that, that stuff is good, is okay every now and then. But if you're loading up on that stuff all the time, eventually not only are you going to crash from it, but your body's going to crash in a major way as well. So just watch out from a health aspect of it. Watch out, for taking all these energy drinks and drinking so much caffeine. Because the more caffeine you drink, of course, you got to throw water to help your kidneys and your liver flush that stuff out of your system. So, like I said, I have to digress from that statement that I made as far as I didn't think that it would affect my income, or I thought that it would increase, because I forgot, again, that a lot of drivers drive for both platforms. So it is what it is. I think increasing your income doesn't have to do with the amount of hours that are limited to you. I think it has to do with each day is a different day. And as you go out and you begin your rides, you start accepting rides. And as, a certain area pops and a certain area goes down, you have to analyze your market for that day and figure out, hey, should I stay in this area or should I move and go somewhere else? In this case, I got 3 rides right off to the bat, and then boom, it just went dead. So I took a look at Gridwise, and since, my area is literally 20 minutes from the airport, it's not a long drive down. And actually I can shave 5 minutes off on a back road shortcut. So, I analyzed that. I saw that there were like 20 or 1,900 passengers coming in at a certain time. So I went down there. When I got down there, I was 90 in the queue. But here's the thing. I got down there 90 in the queue, and in less than 20 minutes, I was 50 in the queue. And then 20 minutes later, I was catching a ride. So the queues, I know they don't always work as fast, but tonight, it worked as fast. So I got my ride down to Rockville, boom, 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 did that. Went back to the airport, got another ride that went to Ellicott City, boom, boom, boom. Those 2 rides there, I already had about $43 from the 3 rides that I had in Pikesville or in the Reisterstown area. And then the Rockville ad boosted me up from 40, sorry, that was 43, boosted me up, you know, added on another 43. So I was at 88 in a matter of 2 hours. And then, excuse me, and then I ended up with the Ellicott City ride that boosted me up to another 108. So I only had, you know, about $42 to make my $150 goal, because I knew I was going to surpass the 135. And then just the rest of the night just fell into place. So it was a good night. Now it's a new day. It's 4 o'clock. Everything just rolled over. I'm gassed up. Thank goodness my fuel charges got deducted. So now I know I have to, you know, push forward a little harder tomorrow when I go out. So it's not a big deal. I'll make it happen. So I had, let's see, with my Get Cargo, I had a sale today. You know, but here's the whole thing about that is just, you know, you just have to talk about it and get people to, you know, just to be interested and be excited about it. It's a good program. You know, you can make that additional cash, and essentially that could be an extra day off for you. So that money has already hit my bank, and you know, I'm starting off these 2 days of the month really good. So I'm okay with what's going on right now. So, you know, I'm about to get out of here and pass out because I feel myself starting to ramble. And as a military instructor, I cannot stand rambling. So, good day. Start off, you know, my shift was literally from 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the evening until, you know, I got home about 3:45 a.m. Gassed up, boom, was home. So, CoolB'more driver. It's a good day. I hope everybody had a fruitful day and was safe out there. And if you're still driving, be safe. Take those breaks. And if you're home, I'm glad that you made it home safely to your loved ones. So it's another day on the 3rd of February. I'm going to take my 6 hours or more, and I'm going to have me some Count Chocula cereal, and I'm going to pass out. And get up and do this thing again. So, CoolB'more driver, I am out of here. Everybody have a great morning.